everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be installing my new axles. I have my 500 horsepower Insane Shaft axles that I'm going to be putting on the Evo. Many of you guys may be wondering, why am I changing my axles? Well, when I took the car to get an alignment and had it on the lift, I realized that the boots are broken and they're leaking, so it is time to upgrade the axles. I've had many people say, why don't you just replace them with OEM? Because OEM can hold up to supposedly 700 horsepower. I got an amazing deal on these Insane Shaft axles, couldn't pass the deal, so that is why I decided to go with Insane Shafts versus OEM. Not only that, but I know Insane Shafts is race proven. Kevin has them on the Integra. I'm most likely going to be running the same exact axles on the Civic, so I decided to go ahead and put them on the Evo as well. I only have the fronts for now because those were the ones that needed to be replaced immediately. So I'm gonna end up doing the fronts, and then later on down the road, I will be purchasing ones for the back. That way I can have new axles around the whole entire car. My good friends at AFHK Honda are a dealer for them. So I got these for an amazing deal. I'm so excited to put these on the car and actually prove them because I'm gonna be taking the Evo to the track very soon. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started with this video, I want to go over the tools that you're going to need to remove your axles. For the axle nut, it uses a 32mm socket, so make sure you have one of these on hand. I'm going to have the impact gun to not only remove the lug nuts, but I'm also going to use it to remove the axle nut. Following your suspension, you're going to need a 19mm socket. This is what the suspension uses to remove those two bolts, which I'll be showing you all. I have the needle nose pliers to remove the pin that's in there, and I also have some fresh pins because they're pretty rusty. To remove the axle out, I have the pry bar, which I'll be using to remove from the transmission. You kind of just want to pry it out. And then to pop the axle out from the spindle, I have the hammer. Hopefully I won't need this, but they look pretty rusty, so I'm sure it's going to need a few good hits. Also want to have a little bit of WD-40 or PB Blaster on hand. The nuts on my car are very rusty, so I'm going to make sure that I have this. If you have the same problem, you might want to have these on hand because it's going to make your life a lot easier. So here you have it. Here's the simple tools that you're going to be needing to remove your axles off of your Evo. Here we have the Insane Shaft axles. As you guys can see, they look very, very nice. Pretty similar to OEM, although the OEM does have like a green cover here. A few differences, but these should be able to hold up to 500 plus horsepower. So I can't wait to actually put these on and then eventually upgrade the rears, and then the car should be good to go and ready to make some launches at the track. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack the car up, remove the wheel, and then we'll get started from there. Just so you guys know, I am not just using the jack for support. I'm also gonna have a stand that I'm gonna put on the car, so I will have double safety. If the jack fails, I have this to support the car just in case of anything. I'm gonna leave the jack the way it is. That's why I wanna go ahead and let you guys know that I'm not just using the jack, I'm also using the stand. So the box does not say which is the driver's side or which is the passenger side axle, but the way you can determine which one is to figure out which side your transmission is on for your vehicle. And most likely the shorter side will be the one that connects to the transmission, and then the other side will be the long one. So in my case, as you guys can see here, this is the shorter side. My transmission goes on this side of the car. So the short side is gonna go on the driver's side, and then the longer one will go on the passenger side. So that's how you can determine the difference between which one goes where. I'm gonna be starting on the driver's side. So the first thing that you need to do is remove this pin. And once, as you can see, mine is all rusted out. So this is probably gonna be a little difficult, but we're gonna give it a try. So you want to remove this pin, and then I need to get, I believe, a size 32mm socket to loosen this. So let's go ahead and start by removing the pin. This little guy contains a rear. you remove the pin and after you use a 32mm socket to loosen the axle nut, next thing it will be to remove both of these. This is gonna hold the spindle, that way when I remove the ball joint bolt and as well as the suspension bolt, I don't have to worry about that dropping. The ball joint bolt is a 17mm and then the suspension bolts right here are a 19. This is the biggest damn struggle ever. All right guys, so this was an absolute pain to remove. When removing the axle, I recommend you leaving the nut in here. In my case, my axle was pretty much seized inside of here. As you all can see, it's all rusty. Looks like these axles have never been removed, so I left the nut on and hit it with the hammer and was able to get it out on this end by doing so. Now, as y'all can see, I have the new axle in. And to get it out of the transmission itself, I recommend getting a pry bar and you simply just pry it off. Didn't really record any of the process because I did struggle a lot. This took me probably a solid hour to get out, so I didn't want to record all of that. And by the time I got it out, I just didn't even want to record. So now that I have the new one in and I have an idea on how to pretty much remove it easily, the next side I'll record into more detail and show you guys step by step on what to do. So let's go ahead and lock this side up, put the wheel back on, and then we'll move to the passenger side. I have the brand new nut on. This looks way better than the other old rusty one. Put that back on. Here is the OEM axles. You all can see this boot is shot really bad. Not in good shape at all. And I know a lot of people say you can replace the boots, you can repair these. But again, I got these insane shaft axles for an amazing deal that I cannot pass down. These axles are rated for 500 horsepower. And again, you know, I'm planning to make more power in this car eventually, so I wanted to go ahead and upgrade them while I had the opportunity to do so. Here we are moving on to the passenger side. I'm hoping this side is a lot easier now that I know all the headaches that I ran into on the driver's side. I'm going to hopefully get through this pretty quickly. Although I do see that everything is still very, very rusty on this side, just as it was on the driver's side. So I am gonna have a little bit of trouble removing some of these bolts since they are so rusted. So we're gonna go ahead and get started by removing the pin, removing the axle nut, and then I'm gonna remove the two suspension ones and we'll go from there. So rusty.
Three days later.
All right, so it officially is day 3 of trying to get this axle out. I'm pretty screwed here. Axle still is not coming out. Actually fell out from the other side. So I have tried hitting this repeatedly, as you all can see. I have PB Blaster, I've been spraying it. I've done pretty much everything you can think of. I grabbed 2 flatheads and I tried prying it out from the other side. That's kind of why I messed it up here. Nothing. Had one of these that I've tried prying it out. This thing is stuck and it's not going anywhere. After doing some research, I pretty much gave up on Sunday and I went to Harbor Freight today and I bought this 3-jaw hydraulic gear puller. Now I kind of Googled online to see what other people have done because apparently I'm not the only one who has had a seized axle stuck in the hub. And a lot of people said that you can use this. I decided to go with a 10-ton. They do have a 12-ton and also a 5-ton. but I decided to go with the middle one. I did not want to go with the 5-ton and it not be enough force to get this axle out, because this thing really is not going anywhere. We are trying this from Harbor Freight. Hopefully this pushes it out. So the way it works, you just clamp it onto the hub and you just push. Don't know if it's gonna go anywhere, but we'll see. This is 10 tons and it ain't even working. I have tried absolutely everything you guys can think of. I don't care what you guys comment below saying I should have tried. I did it. Right now, my last option is to disconnect everything and take this to a shop where they can actually press out the axle, because right now I'm not getting anywhere with it. I've hit it over 1,000 times or more and I'm just frustrated. So we're just gonna go ahead and take the whole assembly apart, and then I can just take it to a shop where they can pop that out. Day 5 with the car. I took it to a shop. They tried to push it out with a press machine. Yes, I greased it. I did everything that everyone has said. A lot of you guys were saying to torch it, to do this, to do that. I've tried everything. So I reached out to TAE Used Auto Parts. They are located in Tampa, Florida. You can find pretty much anything that you need for your car. I reached out to them, asked if they had a spindle for my Evo 8. They said they did, so it should be coming in the mail within the next couple of days. Hoping to have the car up and running again by Friday of this week, so we'll see if I can make that happen. Now I'm gonna try working on taking the axle out of the transmission. Half the axle is stuck on the hub and the other half is stuck in the transmission. So this passenger side has given me nothing but problems, but I'm not gonna give up. We're gonna keep trying, and hopefully again, I'll have it running by this weekend. So let's go ahead and try removing the axle from the transmission. Yay! So this, my friends, is what was stuck in the transmission side. Now we got it out, and I wish that the one would come out of the hub very easily like this kind of did. TAE Used Auto Parts, you can check them out. They're actually located here in Florida. Here goes their phone number, and you can check them out on Instagram as well. They post all of the parts that they have. Check them out, guys. Anything that you need, even new cars. They even have like NSX parts, like everything you guys can think of. Evo, Honda, whatever kind of car you pretty much have, they can get it to you. I remember back when I had the S2000, I needed a new set of coil packs. They got those out to me. At that time, I was living in Georgia. So TAE has been very helpful. Just send them a message. Again, anything you may need, check them out. Here we have a new spindle with the hub. I'm so happy because the spindle is not something that you can just go to Advanced Auto Parts and purchase. You have to get it off of another Evo. Again, this axle job has turned into a complete nightmare. I have gone through so much just to change out this axle. So crazy. I wanted to change out the bearing on it just so I don't have any problems, but the thing with the Evos that I just learned about is that you cannot purchase the bearing separately. I am so deep into this car. Again, this was just supposed to be a simple axle change, but the axle is still seized, can't get it out. I went ahead and torqued down the suspension bolts, the ball joint. Right now I'm gonna put back on the heat shield, pop the axle in, put the rotor on, and hopefully this job is finally done. So happy that this is finally done, guys. This has been the biggest pain that I have ever encountered working on a car. Something so simple, but I did not give up. Went through many obstacles, many hoops, but the car is complete. I got everything bolted back in, everything torqued down. I'm gonna put the wheel back on, go for a drive, make sure everything feels good. Ready? Let's go take this for a drive around the block. See how it feels. Feels great. So that's it for this axle video, as you all see, it took much longer than anticipated. Hopefully those who are going to change an axle on their Evo do not have to go through this problem with a seized axle in the hub. Did not expect that, but it's okay. We got it all figured out. Took longer than usual, but I'm just happy to have the car back on the road, and now I can move on to the next thing. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Enjoyed me struggling for a bit. I'm just happy that I'm done. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will catch you all in the next video.